Well, let's say you wanted to activate the feature that automatically engages the power door locks when your vehicle speed reaches 15 miles per hour. Well, you simply press the menu button until auto door locks is displayed. Press the step button to see your choices, and once you found the setting you like, you can press the menu button to change another feature, or press the CT button to restore the compass and temperature display.
Programmable features include the display language, US or metric measurements, auto door locks, which activate at 15 miles per hour, auto unlock on exit, which when the auto door lock feature is enabled, automatically unlocks all doors when the driver's door is opened, remote unlock, which unlocks either the driver's door only or all doors with a single press of the button on the remote key fob, remote link to memory, which activates memorized seat, mirror, and radio settings when the unlock button on the key fob is pressed, sound horn unlock, which chirps the horn when you press the lock button, flashlights on lock unlock, which flashes the front and rear turn signals when the key fob is used to lock or unlock the doors, headlamp delay, so that they remain on for 30, 60, or 90 seconds, or not at all after the ignition has been turned off, headlamps on with wipers, which activates the automatic headlamps whenever the wipers are used, service interval, with distances from 2,000 to 7,500 miles, reset service distance, which you do whenever you have regular maintenance performed, low fuel chime, which alerts you that it's time to refuel, and easy exit seat, which moves the driver's seat back whenever the ignition key is removed in order to make entry and exit easier.
Some of these features depend upon your vehicle's equipment, and there may be some subtleties involved with these settings, so refer to your owner's manual for more information.
Grand Cherokee Limited models are equipped with the Homelink universal transmitter, which is integrated into the overhead console. This handy transmitter replaces up to 3 separate remote controls that you may now be using to operate your garage door, estate gate, home security system, or other radio frequency activated devices. To train the Homelink universal transmitter, follow this simple 2-step procedure. First, make sure the transmitter is cleared of any unintended codes by holding down the 2 outside buttons until cleared channels is displayed on the EVIC. Now, pick one of the 3 buttons to train and then put the remote control you wish to replace within 1 to 5 inches from the Homelink transmitter. Using 2 hands, push both controller and transmitter buttons at the same time until you see Channel Trained on the EVIC display. Then release both buttons to complete the process.
The Homelink universal transmitter is powered by the vehicle's battery. Once you've trained it, operation is as simple as pressing the correct button on the transmitter. Please note that some remote controls made prior to 1982 are incompatible with the Homelink universal transmitter. If you run into any problems, refer to your owner's manual for additional information.
If your garage door opener receiver has multiple or rolling code capability, well, you need to perform an additional step for the receiver to recognize your Homelink transmitter. See your owner's manual for detailed information.
If you have further questions about the Homelink system, you can call 1-800-355-3515, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to speak to a technical assistance representative, or consult the owner's manual. Grand Cherokee is also available with a driver's side mirror that works in tandem with the inside rearview mirror to reduce headlight glare. To activate this feature, press this button on the inside mirror. Because of its distance from the driver's eyes, the passenger side view mirror is not a part of this system and does not dim at any time.
The Limited's Jeep memory system stores the preferred positions for the driver's seat and side view mirrors, as well as pre-programmed radio stations for 2 different drivers. And it recalls them using either your keyless transmitters or the 2 memory buttons on the driver's door panel. If you've selected the Limited, you'll notice that your 2 keyless transmitters are colored gray and black for your convenience. These transmitters match the gray and black buttons on the door memory switches. The system automatically recalls all stored preferences whenever you press either unlock on your transmitter or the appropriate memory button. Here's what you do to store your own set of preferences. Begin by adjusting all positions of the driver's seat, recliner, and side view mirrors to their desired positions. Also, program the push buttons on the radio to the stations you listen to. Then press the set button and either the gray or black button, whichever corresponds to your transmitter. When the red indicator light goes out, your preferences are set.
To program a second driver's seat and mirror preferences, simply repeat this procedure, this time using the memory button that corresponds to their transmitter. For your safety, the driver's seat will only change positions when the memory button is pressed if the vehicle is in park or neutral, if the vehicle is stationary, and the driver's seat belt is not fastened. If you prefer, whenever you move the key from the ignition, the system will automatically move the driver's seat back to make exit and entry easier. You can enable or disable this feature using the programming options covered elsewhere in this presentation. You can also store up to 10 AM and 10 FM radio stations for each driver. Just make sure that your preferences, either 1 or 2, are active when you set them. Otherwise, you may find yourself explaining to the other driver why rock now resides where opera once prevailed. We'll take a closer look at audio systems a little later on. And you'll also find complete instructions in your owner's manual.
The available power glass sunroof can be opened to any position or tilted up and used as a vent. To open the sunroof, momentarily press this overhead console switch rearward. This is the express open feature. As the sunroof opens, an air deflector will pop up at the leading edge to reduce wind and noise. Now, if you only want to partially open the sunroof, press the switch rearward, then nudge the switch forward where you want the sunroof to stop. To close the sunroof, press and hold the switch in the forward position. For the vent position, press and hold the switch forward from the closed position. This will create a refreshing flow of air throughout the cabin without completely opening the sunroof. Now, once you've parked the vehicle and turned the ignition off, the sunroof will still be powered for 45 seconds, so you can close it, but this power is cut off once the front doors are opened. Your instrument panel console may also contain controls that operate the optional heated front seats. There's a control for the driver and a separate passenger control. With the ignition on, you can select either low or high heat. Lights will indicate which of the seats are being heated. Grand Cherokee owners have 1 or 2 sound system options in addition to the bass system. Now, it would take a whole video to completely tell you about each one of them. So to learn the details of how your system works, refer to the owner's manual.
For now, we'll take the next few minutes to familiarize you with your audio system, beginning with something simple like setting your clock. When the radio is turned off, the time is continuously displayed in this window. When you turn the radio on, it will display the frequency and then switch back to the time. With the radio turned on, you can switch between the clock and the radio display by pressing the time button. To set the time, you need the ignition and the radio turned on and the clock time displayed. Use a pointed object such as the tip of a ballpoint pen to press down the small buttons marked H and M. Use the AM/FM button to select the radio band you want, or the tape CD button to play a tape or compact disc, depending on your equipment. Your sound system has 5 radio preset buttons located below the display window. Each button can store up to 4 radio stations, 2 FM and 2 AM, for a total of 10 AM and 10 FM stations. To select your presets, tune the radio to the desired station and press the button labeled Set. Set 1 will appear in the display window. Then simply select a preset button. To add a second station to the same preset, select a new station and press the Set button twice. Set 2 will appear in the display window. Then press the selected preset button within 5 seconds of pressing the Set button. To use the left to right balance and front to rear fader controls, press the knobs inward. They'll pop out, allowing you to turn them. Once you're finished making the adjustments, press the knobs back in. That way you're less likely to accidentally move them.
For tape operation, begin by inserting the cassette tape. The tape will begin playing automatically, and a direction arrow will be displayed. Press the side change button to play the other side of the tape. The fast forward and rewind arrow buttons are the same ones used to tune the radio. To eject, press the button labeled EJT. To operate a compact disc system, turn the system on and insert a compact disc. You can skip forward or back through the CD's tracks by using the seek buttons. To eject the CD, use the EJT button located near the CD opening. One available sound system feature we'd like to talk about here is the audio remote controls on the rear of the steering wheel. These control volume, mode, as well as seek and preset scan, the most commonly used functions. The right-hand control adjusts the volume by pushing the top or bottom. The mode button allows you to switch among the AM, FM, tape, and CD functions. When playing the radio, the left-hand control will seek up or down to the next clear station. When playing a tape or CD, it functions to seek your next or previous selection. The number of times you press the switch determines the number of selections searched. When playing the radio, the center push button scans or cycles through your preset stations. When using the CD changer, the changer cycles to the next disc.
If your Grand Cherokee is equipped with a 10-disc CD changer, you'll find it mounted inside a covered storage bin at the right side of the cargo area. For your convenience, the changer is wired so that you can change the magazine while the vehicle's ignition is switched off. You'll find controls for the remote CD changer are built into the radio.
Now let's look at some basic maintenance points you should be aware of. Over the next few minutes, we'll provide you with tips for keeping your Grand Cherokee looking and running its best.
That process begins now when your vehicle is very new, during what's known as the vehicle break-in period. This is a relatively short period for your new engine.
Drive moderately during the first 300 miles, but after the initial 60 miles, speeds to 55 miles per hour are desirable. In fact, while cruising, brief full throttle acceleration contributes to a good break-in. Make sure you avoid downshifts and, of course, stay within the limits of the local traffic laws.
It's also normal for your car to use some oil during its first few thousand miles of operation. This is a normal part of the break-in and not an indication of a problem. As your mileage increases, so will your fuel economy, and the vehicle will simply drive better.
To look under the hood, use the hood lock release lever located to the left of the instrument panel.
You'll find the most common underhood service points identified with bright yellow markings. Refer to your owner's manual for the exact locations and specifications. An important part of vehicle maintenance is keeping fluid levels at acceptable operating levels.
Many fluid levels can be checked visually. These include washer fluid, engine coolant, and brake fluid. You should ensure that these fluids are at the full maximum level as indicated on the outside of their reservoirs. Now, checking your oil, power steering fluid, and transmission fluid requires a little more effort.
Your owner's manual will explain where and how to add these important fluids and also recommend a service schedule for your vehicle, including a schedule for oil changes and tire maintenance.
The spare tire is located inside the vehicle below the cargo floor, where it stays clean and out of the way. The jack is mounted underneath the tire, while the lug wrench and jack handle are under the right rear seat cushion. Now, if you need to change a flat tire, be sure to properly position the jack. You'll find instructions located on the spare tire cover and in more detail in your owner's manual.